I need to tell you a story. I was talking to two of my nieces, and there was a situation that had happened downtown. One of my nieces was able to help stabilize. These are church nieces of mine. They were able to help stabilize the person who had gotten sick, fallen, and had a major injury as a result of that fall until the paramedics came. Another friend came up and told us about the tragic death of a young person the day before. And prior to that, I was overhearing another situation that was violent and tragic. So my nieces began to talk about all that was wrong in the world and how terrible things were, and they went back and forth, and I watched for probably longer than my heart wanted to, but I knew I needed to listen. And so I did, and they went back and forth on what was so bad and how horribly life is and how terrible things are. And when my heart couldn't take it anymore, I said, "Are you two bonding on trauma?" And they stopped. And I said, "We just heard a commandment to love one another. And what if love really is the weapon that we need right now?" Somebody else said, yeah, the violence is so bad, that this is so bad. And I said, let's, there's one situation that was about violence, one that was about self-violence, and one that was a health thing. But more importantly, the question becomes, how can we love in the present and the future so much that those other two would not occur? How could we love so much that the health situation doesn't occur either? What can we do in the way of love that responds? And I realized on my drive home, I'm not well equipped. I can listen to trauma. I can hear a person going through something. I don't have a lot of patience with people constantly reporting what is wrong. Not with themselves. Their lives are wonderful. But over there, everybody else. And I went back to, I worked as a researcher at the Victims Assistance Agency in the city of Jacksonville. And I remember designing and doing this research, and we did calls, and we talked to all these people who talked about all the crime and all the violence and all the things and all the stuff. And then you get down to how often this has happened to you. This has never happened to me. It had never happened to them. And the fear of, the generation of, the speculation around what could be, what could have happened, what might have happened to me. Earlier that same evening, I heard story after story after story about these loving moments, really beautiful acts of love, simple, real simple, very, very simple, didn't require a lot, didn't do anything, and I was bonding like to the point where I was this close. And I looked at the two, and I began to wonder and ponder, what is it that makes a great portion of us get excited about, hearing about, and sharing about death and destruction, or love and life? I'm sure it's a journey. I'm sure there was probably times when, I watched a lot of Law and Order when it first came out. I'm sure as a sociologist, I watched a lot of, stuff and read stuff and articles and looking at, and then that shift. And the shift has to be within us. The shift to love and life, speaking love and life. Even when I post prayer requests and somebody will share some traumatic thing they're going through and they need help with it, The people who come in with love and life, and the people who come in with, I speak and come against, and, oh, you vile, evil. And I'm over here like, whoa. It's a shift. And I can know the truth of what's happening and know the truth of what is. I know the truth of what's happening in my own life. I'm feeling it up close and personal. And I don't need nobody to bond on the trauma of what's going on. I don't need anybody to add to that. It's too painful to carry on my own without somebody giving me some more. But when someone gives me love and life, it takes that burden, lifts that burden, lets me walk a lot easier. I know I went a lot of places. I guess this is an invitation today on this Good Friday to decide whether or not we're going to focus on, they spit on him, they put this crown on him, they did this, and look how they did him. Look at all this was done to him and everybody else who was considered a criminal. But this insurrectionist was done that way. Look at all that was done. But what did it give birth to in you? It shouldn't have happened. It's the state of society very often when there's not enough love, which is why yesterday we were told to love one another, commanded to do so. I love you.